I've got the body of a 30-year-old with the mind of an 8-year-old with the knees of an 80-year-old. So I'm like the Frankenstein of paintball right now. Actually, it's an easy question because I haven't really played it a whole lot. 3 different fields when I first started playing paintball. No, it was 2. And then it was no. When I first started, it was only 1 field. So 1 field, 2, 3. I want to say about 7 different or 8 different. I'm just gonna list them off. So I've played at Seabreeze Paintball, Hyper Sports Paintball, Mersey Road Paintball, Storm Warning Indoor, Storm Warning Outdoor, Hillsborough. I've played at this outlaw field that was an absolute piece of crap that shut down like within the first year. Anthill, Hurricane, of course, Commando Paintball, PRZ. Holy crap, I played at way more fields than I thought. So we'll say about like 12 to 15 fields I've played at, like somewhere in that range. I'm sure I'm forgetting some smaller ones, but I try to get around as much as I can. Oh, and then there was like 2 fields in PEI I played in. Solo for paintball, the furthest I've traveled was to Commando Action Center in Ottawa, Canada for D-Day. So the last 2 years, we've traveled 14 hours by car to the event. So this year we left at 2:20 a.m. local and we got there at 6:30 p.m. their time. Further than that, I've gone to PRZ Paintball or PRZ. I kind of cheated for that one because we take family vacation to Ontario every year and it's in the area that PRZ's in. And I'm like, yeah, my gear bag's totally coming with me. Best field I've ever played on. Oh my God, there's so many of them. That's a hard question to answer. I love Seabreeze to death, but I've played it so many times that I can no longer call it the best. I'll just give it a 2-way tie. PRZ and Commando Paintball are the 2 coolest fields, just the way they're laid out. I love CQB Paintball, and I love any wide open fields that let me shoot first strikes. Worst, oh man, worst field I've ever played at. There was this little ragtag outlaw field located just outside of Ormocto, New Brunswick. Something Tactical Sports Center. It was like the stupidest field ever. They hyped up this event. We went to it. 14 people showed up and there was no bunkers. It was literally playing in the woods. So we all look at each other like, are you kidding me? Like, this was hyped up to be this really, really cool event. And like, what do you mean we're shooting airsoft as well? Like, what the hell? Like, it was a paintball event, but then there wasn't enough players. So they're like, well, guys, if you guys come over here to this range, you can shoot some airsoft rifles at targets. I was like, what? Okay, whatever. But yeah, that field shut down. Lack of interest, apparently. I love CQB paintball. I will look for CQB paintball at any field I go. So the first thing I look at is like, okay, I'm at this new field. Where are all the places that I can engage at close range? Because God knows paintballs are not accurate at all. So if I'm forced to shoot round ball, I want to be up close and as personal as I can be. So CQB will improve any field, in my opinion. I always look for it on any field I go to. And another thing I really look for in a field is bunkers that I can stand up behind. I'm so tired of kneeling. I hate kneeling. I hate crouching. I hate squatting. Ever since my knee surgery, I'm not as agile as I used to be. So any chance that I get to like stand up behind a bunker and snap, I will take it. But I hate having to get low and force myself like on a log wall or something that's just like a pile of brushes. That kind of thing drives me nuts. So I try to, when I'm playing, I always look for fields that have like buildings I can stand up behind and just be like, okay, I can play standing up. And if I need to get down low to confuse my opponent, then I can. I'm not forced to be down if I get into a bad area. Ankle support. I love ankle support. I've rolled my ankle a few times, so now it's kind of loose. So I've got some loose ligaments, so I easily roll it. So I need a nice tight boot. That and the waterproof aspect. So in the springtime, Seabreeze gets really wet, really muddy. But a lot of the speedballers will not go through those areas. Where I'm like, okay, I'm going to run right through this, and I'm going to catch you on the flank. Sorry. So I think that gives you a bit of an advantage knowing that I can run through these mud puddles up to about like yay deep before it actually like gets into my boot. I know that I can traverse more terrain than the average player can. This past winter, I went up to Atlantica ORC, and it was a bad scenario just because we were using bad paint. He thought he picked up winter paint, but he actually just picked up regular graffiti. So we were just shooting like summer paint in the middle of winter. And nobody could shoot anything. So that made for a bad experience. It was low numbers, and we weren't allowed to play in the trains because of the low numbers. So it was like, best event I've ever had was Dogs of War held at Seabreeze Paintball. It was held by the Keep Calm and Carry On Scenarios group, the same guys who put on the MML. Fantastic storyline. It was great. It was well told. You felt immersed. It was mag fed only. It was capped at 50 players, so you were able to move up while still being tactical. It was one of those events that I really immersed myself in while playing, and I actually have those videos on YouTube, so I might actually find the raw files and re-edit them with the following I have now, just to highlight how good that event was. Oh man, yeah, that would be my torn meniscus in my right knee. That happened to me in October 16th, 2016. I was playing and I was shooting first strikes pretty much close range with a speedballer. And so we're both snap shooting, and I planted my foot, and when I went to go snap, I just basically the foot stayed planted and the knee twisted. So there's two pieces of cartilage in your knee, and the one on the outside of my knee kind of ripped. At first, it just felt like I'd kind of dislocated my knee. I was like, oh, okay, I've done this before, no big deal. Then I couldn't put any weight on it, and I was like, oh, okay, dude, this hurts so bad. So I thought I legit like popped it into place and then popped it back in wrong. So I looked over at my buddy Hunter. I said, dude, you got to pop my knee back into place. He's like, okay, cool. So I lay down and he pulls it, and you actually hear the video, it goes, and it makes the most god-awful snap. And turns out when he did that, he sucked the cartilage out and then flipped it on itself and then put it back into place. So now at that point, I couldn't even like extend my leg fully. So basically I could only go about like that far. Yeah, let's see if I get that right. But that, like, if that was my knee, my leg could only go about that far out, whereas your knee should be able to go all the way. And so I got carried off the field. And then I went to physiotherapy for about 5 or 6 months. And they're like, okay, yeah, you're not getting any better. Send you for an MRI. They're like, yep, it's torn. It's torn pretty bad, and you're going to need surgery. So I had surgery the following March, and 9 weeks later, I was back on the paintball field. Rehab, just lots and lots of rehab. I followed all the instructions from my physiotherapist. You know, I was working out 3 times a day, whether it be at the gym or even just at-home exercises. I just worked the muscles. I lost all the muscle mass in my right leg after my injury because I was babying it for so long, right? With knee braces and crutches and canes. And basically they said, we don't expect you to play paintball again. Like, you'll have enough mobility to keep working, but that's about it. Like, we don't expect you to be playing hardcore sports. But yeah, I came back and bounced back, and I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm back. It is extremely, extremely hard to balance the YouTube life with the family life, work life. So when I am working, like, I'm on parental leave right now because we just had our daughter. My wife doesn't work. So I was entitled to take all the time off for parental leave. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm the one taking parental. During the day, I try to spend as much time with the kids. And it was easy when it was just one kid because, you know, he'd go down for a nap in mid-afternoon. You know, if I'd sneak down, edit for 2 hours, he wakes up from his nap, play with the kid, be a dad. And then when he goes to bed at like 5 or 6, I'm like, all right, I got from 6 till whenever this video's done to keep editing. But now it's literally, when I go back to work, it's going to be working a normal Monday through Friday kind of job. I also alternate 1 week of days, 1 week of nights. So it's like 1 week I have the entire night to edit once the kids go to bed. The other week comes along, well, I then have to sleep in till about like 8 or 9 o'clock, spend time with the family, try to get an hour in every day to edit, to get that one video out, to go to work and work till midnight or whenever the shift is done that day. So it's super, super hard. But without the proper support, I think if she was any less of a woman, I'd be single. Without her, there would be no nightmare. So if it wasn't for her being able to take care of the clan while I'm down here working, or I'm off at 4 days, like I leave for 4 days, like I did this past weekend, like Friday to Tuesday, early Tuesday morning, I was gone. She really, you know, grew a set and took care of the family, paid the bills, and fed 2 kids. So if it wasn't for her, like, dude, I don't know what I would do. And I kid you not, if you look at anybody in the paintball industry who is the e-celeb, I hate using that term, e-celeb, a lot of them aren't on their first marriages, or, you know, they're not with their children's mother anymore. And it's a hard life to live when you're like, okay, well, I need to work a normal job to pay the bills. I need to be able to work to make these cool videos, and I have to be gone every weekend to play paintball to make the cool videos throughout the week. So if you don't have a strong family, it's really hard. As soon as like I find a field that will allow them to play, like if, I think you have to be 7 or 8 to play Splatmaster out here. So if they have the same rules out west, then it'd only be another 4 years until my oldest son can play Splatmaster, and I'll throw a GoPro on him. I'll throw a GoPro on me and see what kind of shenanigans we can get into. My favorite player to play with by far is Tuna. Blake Thompson. He is like, our play styles match so well. If he says something, I don't even have to double check. I know he's legit, and I'll just go do it. Hell, we're MML champions together, him and the rest of the team. Playing against, I love playing against any other YouTuber. My favorite game by far was Honey Badger last year. I got to shoot at and eliminate Wolf, Alabaster Slim, and I missed Hidden Hedgehog by like a quarter of an inch. It was like the coolest. All three of them were on the same team. I ended up flanking the team, and I was shooting at them from like 3 stories up. And I missed Hedgehog by this much. I was so mad. At first, it was really weird, and it still is kind of weird to this day. But I like it. It's that weird kind of. It's usually little kids too, right? Like, or like or adults who haven't grown up yet, which is what I am. I'm still a little boy who's never really grown up. I've just gotten bigger. I love it when their eyes light up and they're like, "Oh my God, it's Nightmare!" Like, I got some pictures on Instagram of me signing some kids' T-shirts this past weekend, and they were geeking out, and their dad was geeking out just as hard. It was the coolest feeling in the world. Like, all 3 of these guys probably sit down and watch my videos, and it's just like the greatest thing in the world. I don't get recognized often. I get stared at a lot, which that kind of freaks me out. So people know who I am, but they don't come say hi. And I'd rather you just come say hi and get rid of the awkwardness instead of like eyeing me up as you walk past where I'm staging. Like, I get that weird, like, looking me up and down, like just sizing me up. Like, dude, just come say hi. Like, I'll shake your hand, take a picture. I'll give you a patch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get a bunch of MCS patches I always give out at fields. At my home field, Seabreeze, I get recognized here and there. But it's more when I travel to fields I don't play at very often. Like, we got a few local fields here that when I go there, like, it's full on celebrity mode. It's like, whoa, dude, I'm just a paintballer. I just play. Like, I'm extremely humbled, but I honestly, in my mind, I'm just still that paintballer that I keep saying this, and I said this a lot this weekend. People are like, "Oh, you're a celebrity. You're so cool. You're so cool." I'm like, I'll level with you. The only thing that separates me from you is the fact that I post a video on YouTube every single week. That is it. There's no difference. You're probably a better player than I am. Like, don't think that because I post videos every week that I'm an awesome player. I post the videos that I'm really good at on YouTube. I get eliminated every single game almost. It's very rare that I don't get eliminated, but that's just my style of play. I'm up close and in people's faces. But that's something that people have a hard time wrapping their mind around. It's like the only thing that separates me from them is this. That's it. It's a really weird concept that people don't seem to understand. But if they want to call me a celebrity and they want to fanboy, fangirl over, I'm completely cool with it. It is the coolest feeling in the world to have someone come up to you and know who you are. It gives me goosebumps to this day, like just thinking about it all the time. It's gotten to the point where I'll be on the field and I'm narrating what I'm going to say in the video while I'm playing. I'm like, oh, I got to stop doing this. I'm like, just play the way you used to. Just take, like, even like a year ago, I was like, I would just play and just record and then, turn it into a video. But it's like, now I want every game I play to be the best possible game ever. And it's really freaking hard. But yeah, I honestly do miss just playing for the sake of playing. And I think in the future, I'll have a few more weekends where I just play for me.